What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the channel, I am your host, as always, Rashid White. All right, let's get into this video over here. It's going to be the Brooklyn Nets season preview over here. Now, they made a lot of off-season moves over here. I loved what the Sean Marks actually did. I did a previous video calling for his resignation because he didn't actually build a championship roster. The roster was actually flawed. And if you look at other teams, and Kevin Durant actually spoke of this really, really well, where they went on a 10-game losing streak. And I'm like, come on, at least I think 4 or 5 of those games they should have actually won. And when you look at how other teams was actually constructed, you look at the Memphis Grizzlies, you look at the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors. Why aren't you finding these players over here? So yes, I call for the resignation or the firing of Sean Marks in a couple of videos. A couple of months ago I did these videos. All right, so we're gonna look at the roster. So Ben Simmons is your point guard. I don't know what's all this nonsense talking about. He should play the center and he shouldn't handle the ball. No, he should actually handle the ball. Look at the size over here. 6'11". 6'11". He's a matchup nightmare for most opponents. For most opposing, point guards. You can put Ja Morant on there. You can put what's his name? Trae Young, Steph Curry. I mean, they're gonna have to guard this guy, and it's gonna have to cause teams to actually help and double team him. And what do you actually have waiting? Steph Curry, who shoots 44% from the 3-point line. Kevin Durant, who shoots 44% from 3. KYRIE IRVING, who shoots almost 40% from 3. Joe Harris, who's a couple of years ago was actually the best 3-point shooter in the NBA. Now, he's not a better shooter than Steph Curry, because he doesn't take that many threes. But in terms of percentage-wise, yes, he was the actual best 3-point shooter in the in the NBA there. So you got Patty Mills, who can actually stretch the floor. Royce O'Neal shoots almost 39-40% from 3. So you're not going to be able to load up on Ben Simmons. Now, yes, KYRIE IRVING can actually play point guard, but his scoring is just so elite. You actually take away from what he actually does best. So yes, it's going to be like Ben Simmons actually said, this is a team on steroids over here, man, because the difference between that Philadelphia team who won 16 games in a row versus this team is that if you try to run Kevin Durant off the 3-point line, he can either 1 finish, 1-2 dribble pull up. The same thing goes with Steph Curry. You run him off the 3-point line. Now he's not as great as a finisher as Kyrie, but he still can do 1-2 dribble pull-ups. Same thing with Joe Harris. Now I haven't seen him really do 1 or 2 dribble pull-ups, but he can actually, if you run him off the 3-point line, he can actually take it to the basket and actually finish. So that was one of the things I actually see improve in him. Now, if he can get 1-2 dribble pull-ups right there from within like the college 3-point line, I mean, whew, man. So Royce O'Neal, and you have I like the fact that LaMarcus Aldridge is actually still on the roster. They could use him. I'm surprised, man, because Steve Nash didn't really use him. But we don't know what, internally, we don't know what was actually going on there. If LaMarcus Aldridge is actually back, there could have been something that was actually going on there. So you bring Chris Chioza there, which you'll probably play in garbage minutes, So I really, really like this. Now we'll see what actually Cam Thomas, can he actually play defense? Will his defense actually improve? You can't guard, then you can't be on the floor, in a sense, though. And then shot selection with Cam Thomas is the main thing with him, because he takes a lot of bad shots, in my personal opinion. That stuff works in the G League, but when you start going against these, NBA tier players, those fall away shots, I mean, those are bad shots. You actually bailed the defense out when you actually take shots like that. You see LeBron James, he was taking like a lot of fall away shots, man. I mean, you big, I mean, you bailing the defense out right there, man. When say if you take LeBron James type shots, what he was doing last year. All right, so Marquise Morris actually adds a lot of toughness there. So the main key is actually Ben Simmons. Can he, if he actually does shoot, I mean, don't expect this man to. From what I'm actually hearing, he's been working on his 3-point shot, but I mean, if you can get like 29-30% from three, there's no reasons for him to actually take a lot of 3-pointers in a sense, though. He can just do what he actually does best: get downhill, put pressure on the defense. If they actually double team, then actually kick the ball out to an open shooter. If they don't help, then he can just score 18, 19, 20 points with ease. So we'll actually see the Brooklyn Nets will be somewhat of a mystery. Has Steve Nash actually got better as a coach in terms of actually making in-game adjustments? So good coaches make game-to-game adjustments. Great coaches make in-game adjustments. So we'll actually see. We'll see. It'll be him and Kevin Durant. They actually hashed it out. They were saying, hey, we're good. Nothing's really changed. And they do actually have a history together. So what was actually going on is really, I don't want to say none of our business in a sense, though. But it seems like, I mean, I've seen Kevin Durant and Steve Nash working together in Golden State. So they have a long history together. And Marquise Morris, he actually called the team soft, on which I do agree. I really do agree with that. So he'll bring some toughness in there. What's his actual stats, though? Let me see something. How much he can actually shoot the three, though. He's actually a good regular season 33% from three. All right, so let's say 33%, low 30s. He'll give you every, let's say 3 or 4 games. He actually plays. He'll have a good shooting night. I don't expect him to shoot really, really well from three every single night, but being in the low 30s. So career, he's 34.1%. Let's see. 1.6. So for his career, 11 points a game. So that's good. You have a solid bench player, and I like the young guys they actually have. But Ben Simmons, he'll make it to where that Kevin Durant doesn't actually have to work so hard for a shot. Now, the whole key thing with this is what I actually meant to mention is that will Kyrie, and we know he's actually playing for a contract, will he actually play, within like a team setting? Or will he actually try to do too much and still show that, hey, I still got it, and try to put up numbers in a sense, though? So if he can actually stick to his averages, which is about 23 points a game for his actual career, I think we'll really be good. If he tries to, just be available, play. I know there was a whole thing about him saying being available, but like that's not his fault in a sense, though. The mandate thing wasn't his fault. The him getting injured in the Milwaukee series really wasn't his fault. But let's look at Kyrie Irving. Let's look at his numbers. And the main thing you worry about with Kyrie Irving is his size. So yeah, I'm saying 23.1, 27.4. Oh man, this is gonna be a lethal lineup, man. I mean, sheesh. Man, the league actually needs to be scared of the Brooklyn Nets, man. They really do. All right, so we will wrap this video up. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.